Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Today we'll be discussing safety on the road. During today's discussion, we will be going over topics ranging from driving laws to tips and advice for driving safely. This will be presented by myself, Ryan Sillison, and Cameron Buckles. The first topic we're going to be discussing today is probably the most important, and that is to just not drink and drive. It's not worth it. Around 32 people die every day due to drunk drivers. Uber, Lyft, taxis, sober friends, also known as designated drivers, or even mad parents are all viable alternatives to drinking and driving. The legal limit for blood alcohol content is 0.08, and this is about 3.5 beers. And 3.5 beers is not a lot, so it's not even worth it. So just drink zero. Next, we are going to be talking about speeding. Contrary to belief, speed limits are not just a suggestion. Speed limit signs are there for your safety and are expected to be obeyed. Texas is number one. However, this is in speeding related deaths, which is not a statistic we should be wanting to be number one at. Speeding kills people every day because people are just careless. Is it really worth getting to your destination a fraction of a second earlier? The answer to that is no. You are not Dale Earnhardt, so slow down or you may end up like him. Road signs are very important, so pay attention to them. The first sign says stop. Notice how it doesn't say slow down and roll through? Well, that's because you're supposed to come to a full and complete stop before proceeding. The second sign listed is a yield sign, and yield just means gun it and hope that there's no one there. Just kidding, please don't do that. Definitely look to see if someone's approaching before proceeding. And the last sign that I have listed is a wrong way sign. If you can't follow this, you shouldn't have a driver's license in the first place. Now, there are a multitude of other road signs, such as ones that designate areas under construction, and you should always slow down in these areas. There are also signs that display where historical markers are nearby, but if you're like me, you just ignore those. Road signs are the only time where reading while driving is acceptable. Seatbelts are to be worn at all times when driving or even just riding in the car. You are 5 times more likely to die in a car accident when not wearing a seatbelt. And what a stupid ticket to receive. Everybody knows the saying, click it or ticket. This is also the easiest part of driving. As soon as you step into the car, just put your seatbelt on. And if you can't stand the constant beeping, then you may need more help than this video can offer. And the unfortunate reality is that some of y'all will buckle your food before you even buckle yourself. Ah, yes, this generation's worst enemy, cell phones. This is the worst way of getting distracted while driving. I promise your texts, Snapchat, Instagram DMs, Twitter feed, LinkedIn posts, MySpace, and TikToks can wait. Distracted driving is dangerous driving. How can you focus on the road when you're trying to become an influencer? And trust me, you are not going to become an influencer, especially if you're dead. This seems like common sense, but common sense is a rarity in today's society. It's literally impossible to miss them. If you hear loud sirens or see bright flashing lights, pull over and slow down. It's the law. And also, don't tailgate emergency vehicles after they pass. Not only will you look like the biggest jerk in town, but it's one way to end up in jail. You don't want to tailgate a SWAT truck anyways. Could be a very bad day for you. Trains are a huge safety concern for drivers. Everyone always thinks that they can beat the train, but remember, in a tie, you lose. So obey all the railroad crossing signs, and remember, it's always better to be safe than sorry. And then one huge tip, always look both ways before crossing. You never know when the railroad signs may not work, and if you see a train, just stop. And always remember, Thomas the Tank Engine, don't stop for no one. Intersections can be very dangerous. In fact, 40% of all car accidents occur at an intersection. So some safety tips are, look both ways before you cross. Obey all stop signs and traffic lights. Watch out for pedestrians. And unless you want to break the bank on the new car, you will follow these tips. Weather is something that's often neglected when driving. 99.99999% of people are not a part of the storm chasers, so don't go after that big storm. Also, your Ford Focus is not going to make it through a foot of snow, so when it's snowing bad, just stay home. Water is wet, and will also make the roads wet, so slow down when it's raining. And for severe weather such as tornadoes and hurricanes, well, if you drive in that, good luck. Being careful when driving in bad weather conditions is an easy way to stay safe on the road. And if the weather is really bad, Just stay home and make up a funny excuse as to why you can't make it into work. Like, my dog ate my keys.
Driving tired. We've all done it. We all hate it, so don't do it. Sleeping at the wheel is a lot more common than most people think, and it can be very dangerous to do so. It is recommended that every 4 hours of continuous driving that we should take a 45-minute break, and only energies work until they don't. So make sure you get your full 8 hours of sleep. Unless you're a Kimmy, then just get your 45 minutes and you'll be good to go. Safety for your children is very important, and all children must be in a car seat of some kind until the height of 4 feet 9 inches. It's the law. No one likes the taste of burnt children, so make sure to look behind you and make sure all the kids got out the car and no one's left in the car. And also check for your furry friends too, because no one likes that either. And if the kids are being too loud in the back, you could always ask Elon Musk for an ejection button. He may make that work. Blind spots, everyone's favorites. One of the biggest causes for accidents is not checking the blind spot. When merging lanes, backing out, or switching lanes, you have to always check your blind spots to see if there's any cars in it. Remember, if you're going way faster than everyone else, there's no need to check because, of course, everyone's behind you. Actually, please don't do this. Oil. We know a thing or two about this. So don't be that guy who gets oil changed when the oil life is at zero. That's not how that works, and every 3,000 miles is when you should get it changed. Having no oil can cause many problems for the car, like blowing the damn thing up, so get it changed. And also, you look like an idiot with that smoke coming out of your '98 Civic. No one likes that. And a quick tip: don't be a dipstick. Always check your dipstick. Tires. Flat tires are easy to miss and deadly when missed. Having a tire pressure gauge and knowing how to use it is important in your car if you're not fancy enough that has it automatically built in. Do not cheat on your girlfriend because that is one way to get your tire slashed very easily. When pulling over to change a tire or changing a flat, make sure you have enough room, and if not, call for assistance. They're always willing to help. But if you don't know how to change a tire, well, that's what they have YouTube for, right? And lastly, don't bulge your tires like your dad. Get them replaced. Next is walkarounds. Yes, literally. As arbitrary as it sounds, it can really save lives. So check for debris, loose parts, or anything out of the ordinary that can cause hazards. It's also a good way to go through memory lane of poor driving. So, and then any of these things can cause seriously body harm or death. So make sure you do the walk around and just check before driving. Blinkers, the most unused things unless you're sitting next to the popos. Yes, I'm talking to you. Blinkers are the easiest way of indicating switching lanes, merging lanes, turnings, and of course, letting everyone know that that's my parking spot. If you don't use them, it's the easiest way for everyone in the world to absolutely hate you. It takes 1 second to use, so just use them. Road rage, everyone's favorite. Ways to help avoid road rage is always give yourself enough time where you're going. Only use your horn when necessary. Don't don't use your horn at Karen. Usually doesn't end up well. Also, you never know who that person is you're getting mad at. It could be a UFC heavyweight champion, or it could be El Chapo's brother. You never know. It's always not worth it. So just relax, drive, and don't get too mad. Eating and driving. You may think you're good with driving with your knees, but trust me, I've seen it. You're not. Your Chick-fil-A will always be waiting when you get home, so just wait till you get home to eat it. This is another form of distractive driving, just like texting and driving, and it should be avoided at all cost. There's Uber Eats, DoorDash, X, Y, and Z. If you need to get your food delivered, you got it. Don't eat and drive. Lastly, driving at night. You always got to look out for Bambi and her mom. You don't want to be the villain of this story. Um, Over 260,000 crashes involve animals every year, so it happens, and you have to be careful of this. Make sure your lights are always on, and don't be that person that leaves the high beams on. I really can't stand you. Nothing good happens past midnight. Between midnight and 4 a.m. is the second most dangerous time to drive, and that's due to drunk drivers. So if you can, avoid it if all possible.